Welcome back to Table Talk. Charles Norton joins us. He's a longtime Warren County resident, World War II veteran, American Legion member, and my go-to guy for all things flag-related etiquette and whatnot. He joins us at this table for the very first time. Mr. Norton, thank you so much for being on Table Talk.
Thank you.
This is a special week for the nation. Every time the 4th of July rolls around, these will be airing the week of 4th of July. And I know that dealing with you at the radio station some, I think you would come in sometimes and talk a lot about the flag and what it means and how to properly take care of our American flag. There's so many things that I think folks would be very surprised to know of how to treat the American flag.
Well, for some reason, I was chosen when I first went into service. We had my basic training in Miami Beach, Florida, and lived in a hotel. And they took, the Air Force took over Miami Beach during the training for World War II. And for some reason, I was chosen to be a member of the Honor Guard. We always thought it was because each one of us was 6'1", and they wanted everybody about the same size. Well, the first time that we had a dignitary that come to the base and we presented the flag, the colors, I had the job of presenting the American flag. And you know, there's an eagle on top of the broad. That eagle is supposed to face the audience. And I knew that. I had schooling before that started, but for some reason I did not look up and turn it to where it would face the front. The next morning I had a toothbrush and a pan of water and I scrubbed the floor of the hotel all day long. It really took me nearly all day long to scrub it. So you remember to always look up at the flag and make sure that the eagle is facing the audience.
There's so many different things. In looking through a lot of the flag etiquette, and there's several places that folks can go to be able to get more information on this. I know that one place I pulled from is usflag.org, but there's many different pamphlets I think that can be found as well. Just some things that stood out to me. You spoke of looking directly at the flag during the national anthem, during the pledge, especially during the national anthem. I didn't know this because sometimes this doesn't happen a whole lot, that it is to be recognized and saluted or paid attention to till the last note.
Well, that's not all correct. You do not salute through the entire program, whatever is happening. Really, you salute, and someone is supposed to be calling cadence to salute and stop, but you watch the flag because it's right by the speaker anyway. So that's not altogether right. Surely you know that we're supposed to pay attention to the guy speaking too.
Absolutely. The flag should never be dipped to any person or thing. It is flown upside down only as a distress signal.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah, that never to be dipped to any person. Obviously, folks probably growing up, whether they were in Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts or just learning, the flag never touches the ground under any circumstances,
That's correct.
Yes. As far as, I guess it's safe to say that, and a lot of people will use this, or you've seen this, flag should never be placed on or attached to any mark, insignia, letter, number, figure, drawing of any kind. I mean, that's part of just paying respect to that flag.
That's right.
I know that one thing that many years ago that is very dear to your heart, and it kind of caught me off guard, but in looking stuff up over the years, I know that one time when we met and talked, it might have been around the 4th of July, or some type of holiday that commemorates, it could have been Flag Day or something like that. I was wearing a flag tie. And I think you caught me out and said, by the way, you shouldn't be wearing that. That's something.
Well,
but looking at that is 100% true as far as part of that flag etiquette.
Well, let's look at it a different way. The tie, your shirt, your cap are temporary clothes. And you're not supposed to have the flag as a temporary anything. it's supposed to be respected all of its life now. And then when you do destroy it, there's what things that you do we'll talk about in a little while, about how you destroy the flag when it's worn out. But people, or I've got a cap or two with a flag on them, but and I don't consider that I'm disrespecting the flag, but I think it's in the flag code that you're not supposed to wear the flag as clothing.
Yeah, you mentioned that. For folks that have never heard this before, the flag should not be used as part of a costume or athletic uniform, except that a flag patch may be used on the uniform of military personnel, firemen, policemen, and members of patriotic organizations.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that does get, and how many, the flag is used quite a bit.
Yeah.
We've seen everything from pants to shirts to everything under the sun. And again, getting back to flag etiquette, that's not how that flag's supposed to be used in that way. As far as you mentioned this, and I have seen online ways that you retire a flag, however that verbiage is that you need to say that. But when a flag has become too worn to be flown, it goes through a ceremony. I'm sure it's probably one that you've either taken part in or you've definitely seen quite a few of over time. Explain what goes into, I guess, for lack of a better term, destroying a flag or being able to retire a flag, I guess is the correct term.
The first thing is that you burn the flag that you're getting rid of, but you do it ceremoniously. Now, in different organizations, there are different ways. In the Legion, the commander of the Legion, all the flags that you're going to destroy or retire that day are spread on something. Don't put it on the ground, but a table, or we use a plastic strip or something and place flags on it because we have so many of them sometimes. But the commander looks at the first flag and he has a talk about the flag and what it's done and so forth. Then he hands it to the next guy, and the assistant, not his assistant, his vice commander, and passes it on down till you get down to the adjutant, and he's the one that takes it and places it in the fire. The Girl Scouts asked me a number of years ago now to teach their entire group here in Warren County how to just take care of the flags. And they happened to have a young lady in the group that was from Japan that had a couple of girls in the Girl Scouts. And when I put that first flag in the fire in that barrel, she screamed because she thought I'd done something wrong, because that's not just an American thing. It's all countries have different things that they're supposed to do. But when people ask me that, well, do you burn the flag when you retire it? I said, yes, but ceremoniously. You don't just pitch it in the waste can or whatever.
Very ceremonial,
yes,
very treated with so much respect and honor, I think
yes.
is what I've seen and what I have heard on that. We've got so many other things that can be talked about here. I guess for folks that are wanting more information about proper care of the flag and what needs to go on with that, like we said, several different places that you can be able to look up and find more information on flag etiquette and proper ways. And I guarantee you there's at least one or two things that will surprise most folks out there when they look that up.
Well, and there's only one change since World War II. Before World War II, the flag on a platform for a speaker was one way, and they changed it afterwards to where it's always on the speaker's right, regardless whether it's on a platform or on the ground or wherever it is. And the same thing with the eagle I was talking about a little while ago. When you move the flag out of the being presented before the program, when the program's over, people move them back out of the way and so on. You're still supposed to face the eagle forward to where the audience, if there was an audience there, they would be looking at it.
Let me ask you this: being a World War II veteran, having been someone who watched what happened during this country, during the Vietnam War, the protest. We find a lot of that going back up through here, and he referenced a book that I didn't mention, author and also photographer too, as far as an autobiography that you wrote some time back. How has that been for you over the decades to see something that is so dear to you be used for protest purposes, not only here, not only away from the United States, halfway around the world, but then also to see it in our own backyard sometime burned, trampled upon? What does that do to you?
Well, if you read what I wrote in the Congressional Record, it makes me want to cry to see somebody that doesn't respect. When you burn the flag to this country, you're burning the country. In other words, when you disrespect the flag of our country, you're disrespecting the entire country. And yeah, it hurts like the dickens. I try not to say too much about anything now as far as the flag is concerned. I'll answer questions, but sometimes I can get in trouble with that too, but because of what other people think and so on. If you fly your flag day and night in your front yard on a pole, you're supposed to have a light on it. Well, that's not happening anymore to amount to anything. And I know there's one place in town, and I'm not going to name it, that's got flags in front of their business, and they've got the light on them, but it's not on the flags. It's on the pole below the flags. You can't even tell there's flags up there if you drive by at night. But it don't bother me that much anymore. I guess I've just got, I don't know, old or something.
You mentioned the Congressional Record, and I showed this one book here as far as your autobiography, but talk a little bit about, I know that you brought this with you, the fact that the Congressional Record, and I'm going to hold it up on this two-shot right here, and this is from June 12, 1990, the Congressional Record, and this is from 1990. You have an article in the Congressional Record.
Okay.
Impressive.
When I was working for the American Legion, I was the editor of the newspaper that we put out. I think it was twice a month, and it went out to every American Legion member all the way across Tennessee. Some way or other, Winfield Dunn, I don't think he was a veteran, I may be wrong, but he got a hold of that paper that I had the article you're talking about written in it, because I wrote an article in most all of them, and he called me personally and asked me could he read that to Congress. And of course I said yes, and following that we became great friends. He lived in Nashville, and he was the congressman from Nashville area at the time this was written.
Don Sundquist, I think.
Yeah,
right? Yes.
Don Sundquist,
Yes.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
Winfield Dunn, but
yeah.
two former governors right there,
Yeah.
but absolutely Don Sundquist, it looks, and that is just really neat to be able to have something that you have written about, like I said, from the American Legion standpoint, to be put in the Congressional Record. And so thank you for bringing this. This is really nice. 4th of July, I'm going to end on this. What does the 4th of July mean to you?
It means the United States. I don't know much of any other way to say it. If we hadn't had a 4th of July, we would still be colonies, I suppose. But it does not get the honor on 4th of July that you get on Memorial Day. Most people think about Memorial Day and Veterans Day being the same thing. It's not. Memorial Day is honoring those veterans that were killed during the time of war, where Veterans Day is honoring all veterans that served their country. So 4th of July to me is just about as important, or a little bit more important, because it actually represents this country. And whatever you do to that flag, you're doing it to the nation.
Thank you for being here.
Let me make one more.
Yes.
I've had a number of people call, pardon me, call and ask about flags that you put on the front of your house on a little bracket. When you fly the flag at half-mast, I started a number of years ago telling people that would ask me why I lowered my flag to half-mast, that I have a contact in Washington that sends me a email when it's supposed to be and how long it's supposed to run and so forth. And so I've got about 25 or 30 people that I send an email to and tell them that starting Thursday morning you lower the flag to half-mast and you put it back up Thursday night or Friday night, whenever it is. But if you've got the little flag on the front of your house, you need to go buy you a piece of 1.5-inch blue ribbon and tie that on the top of your flag pole, the little pole that you've got, and that shows people that you're representing what goes on during that time.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Thank you for your service, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Charles Norton joining us here on the first part of Table Talk. We're back with John Downs talking about the Sparta Veterans Park right after this.